The real reason why these actors left MASH. Ever wondered why stars suddenly vanish from your favorite shows? Today we're diving deep into the untold story behind MASH, revealing jaw-dropping reasons why its beloved actors stepped away from the spotlight. From backstage secrets to personal dramas that shook the core of their lives, join us as we uncover the real reason why these actors left MASH. You won't believe what we found out. The television show MASH, a mix of comedy and drama set against the backdrop of the Korean War, ran from 1972 to 1983. It follows the daily operations of the 4077th Mobile Army Surgical Hospital, where a dedicated crew of doctors, nurses and staff provide critical care to injured soldiers. Its unique combination of comedic and serious elements won it a special place in viewers' hearts, cementing its status as an enduring classic. At the forefront of MASH is Captain Benjamin Hawkeye Pierce, played by Alan Alda, a skilled surgeon known for his wit. The ensemble cast includes Captain Trapper John McIntyre, Major Margaret Hot Lips Houlihan, Major Frank Burns, Corporal Radar O'Reilly, Lieutenant Colonel Henry Blake, and later Colonel Sherman T. Potter. The first season of MASH masterfully depicts the daily struggles of life in a war zone, balancing humor and heartache. The medical team uses laughter as a coping mechanism amidst the chaos, making for a unique blend of intense medical situations, personal relationships, and light-hearted moments. Season 2 delves deeper into the characters' personalities, showcasing the strong bond between Hawkeye and Trapper through their playful antics and disobedience. Meanwhile, Major Houlihan and Major Burns strive for discipline, often clashing with their colleagues. This season expertly contrasts humor with the harsh realities of war. In Season 3, MASH tackles more serious themes, exploring the ethical complexities of war, its consequences, and personal sacrifices. The season ends with a shocking twist: the death of Lieutenant Colonel Henry Blake, highlighting the brutal nature of war. The fourth season brings significant changes to the series. Following Trapper's departure, Captain B.J. Honeycutt joins the team and Colonel Potter takes over, earning the team's respect with his experience and wisdom. This season focuses on the team's adaptation to these changes while maintaining their dedication to their duties. In its fifth season, MASH introduces Major Charles Emerson Winchester III, a skilled and proud surgeon who brings new energy to the team. The show continues to balance humor and drama, delving deeper into the characters' personal and professional lives. Seasons 6 to 8 maintain this balance, presenting new challenges that foster growth and unity among the characters. The show explores their backstories and personal struggles, highlighting the psychological toll of war. It also critiques the contradictions and absurdities of military life. In its final seasons, 9 and 10, the characters begin to look beyond the war, contemplating their futures. The narrative becomes more reflective, mirroring the emotional weight of prolonged conflict. As the characters grow closer, they experience moments of introspection and personal growth, leading to a poignant conclusion. The 11th season of MASH marks the series' conclusion, coinciding with the end of the Korean War. The characters prepare to bid each other farewell and return home. The iconic 2.5-hour finale, Goodbye, Farewell and Amen, poignantly captures the emotional goodbyes of the 477th staff, highlighting the strong bonds formed over the years. Throughout its run, MASH received widespread acclaim for its outstanding writing, performances, and unique blend of humor and serious themes. The show garnered numerous awards and cemented its status as a television legend. Its ability to balance comedy and drama, while providing a powerful commentary on the human cost of war, has made it a timeless classic. MASH achieved a rare feat by capturing the spirit of its era while remaining relevant to future generations. Its commentary on the futility of war resonated deeply with audiences, particularly during the Vietnam War era. This timelessness has allowed MASH to be cherished by successive generations, making it a beloved and enduring part of television history. Even amidst the show's monumental success, it's notable that some actors decided to leave, and they have different reasons why. McLean Stevenson, recognized for his role as Lieutenant Colonel Henry Blake, was brought into the world on November 14, 1927, in Normal, Illinois. Despite his family's notable background in politics and medicine, Stevenson pursued a different direction. His father's profession as a cardiologist and his cousin, Adlai Stevenson II's bids for the presidency surrounded his early life with academic and career-oriented expectations. However, Stevenson harbored other aspirations. For his secondary education, he attended Lake Forest Academy and subsequently served in the United States Navy, honoring his family's legacy of service, albeit briefly. His true passion, though, was in a different field. Following his naval service, he pursued higher education at Northwestern University, earning a degree in theater arts. His university years also saw him join the Phi Gamma Delta fraternity, a connection that would influence his starting career endeavors. Stevenson's journey into the acting world was not direct, despite his formal education in theater. Before making his mark as an actor, he explored several jobs, including selling insurance and acting as a press secretary for his cousin during his presidential campaign. These varied experiences, while not directly linked to his acting career, equipped him with a diverse skill set and perspectives that would enrich his acting roles. McLean Stevenson embarked on his entertainment journey in the radio industry, enchanting the Dallas audience with his hosting duties thanks to his engaging voice and magnetism. However, it was his talent for writing that caught the national spotlight first. In the early 1960s, Stevenson moved to New York City, where he began crafting scripts for The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, marking a crucial step in his career and connecting him with key individuals in the TV world. Encouraged by his cousin to pursue acting with more vigor, Stevenson took this advice to heart. In 1961, he enriched his natural talent with formal education by attending the American Musical and Dramatic Academy. This decision was instrumental, laying a professional groundwork in the acting realm for him. He soon graced the stage in The Music Man and featured in various television ads, progressively enhancing his acting credentials. 1972 was a milestone year for Stevenson, landing the role that would define his career as Lieutenant Colonel Henry Blake in MASH. His depiction of the affable and somewhat clumsy leader captured the viewer's affection, adding a layer of humanity amidst the series' portrayal of wartime's harshness. MASH soared in popularity, becoming a television favorite, with Stevenson's portrayal significantly contributing to its success. In 1974, his exceptional performance was acknowledged with a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor, cementing his status not just on the show, but also in the hearts of the audience and critics. Despite the popularity of the series and his own recognition, Stevenson chose to leave MASH after its third season in 1975. His decision was influenced by several reasons. Mainly, Stevenson felt that his character did not receive enough attention. He saw potential for more significant contributions and desired roles that would better display his abilities. Moreover, he was displeased with the growing emphasis on characters portrayed by Alan Alda and Loretta Swit, seeking more prominent roles than just being a part of an ensemble. Stevenson's departure from MASH was both poignant and notable. In his final episode during the third season, his character, Henry Blake, was written off as being discharged from the army and on his way home. However, the episode concluded with the devastating news that Henry Blake's plane was shot down, causing his death. This shocking and sorrowful twist stands out as one of the most heart-wrenching moments in TV history, effectively capturing the harsh truths of war amidst the comedic backdrop of the show. Killing off Henry Blake's character was a pioneering move, as it was uncommon at the time for shows to confront the deadly outcomes of war head-on. Stevenson's exit undoubtedly left a lasting mark on the show and its viewers. After his departure from MASH, McLean Stevenson aimed to leverage his soaring popularity. He took on leading roles in several television series, aspiring to attain similar levels of success. He embarked on this journey with The Mel and Stevenson Show in 1976, portraying Mac Ferguson. Despite the anticipation, the series fell short of expectations and met its end after just one season. However, Stevenson didn't let this setback dampen his spirits and sought out other primary roles. In 1979, he appeared in Hello, Larry, a spin-off of the well-loved series Different Strokes. In this series, Stevenson played the role of Larry Alder, a single father and radio talk show host. Regrettably, like his previous endeavor, Hello Larry didn't reach the heights of MASH and was discontinued after 2 seasons. If you like this video, please leave a number 9 in the comments below. During the late 1970s and 1980s, Stevenson featured in a variety of television series and movies. He made guest appearances on shows like The Love Boat and The Golden Girls, and took a leading role in the 1978 sci-fi comedy film The Cat from Outer Space. Despite his persistent efforts, none of these endeavors garnered the acclaim or popularity MASH had achieved. In the latter part of his career, McLean Stevenson became a familiar television personality, even if his projects didn't replicate his earlier success. He was a frequent panelist on the game show Match Game and continued to make guest appearances on several series. His sharp humor and charisma established him as a beloved figure on both talk and game shows. Stevenson's personal journey was a mix of highs and lows. He entered matrimony 3 times and was a father to 3 children. His union with Polly Ann Gordon spanned from 1957 until their separation in 1960. He then wed Lise Herbert in 1969, but this marriage concluded in divorce by 1971. Stevenson's final matrimonial commitment was to Ginny Fosdick in 1980, with whom he stayed until his passing on February 15, 1996. McLean Stevenson succumbed to a heart attack at 68, leaving a noticeable void in the entertainment community. Stevenson is chiefly celebrated for his portrayal of Henry Blake, a role that has etched a lasting impression in the annals of television history. Looking back on his departure from MASH, Stevenson conceded that leaving might not have been the wisest professional decision. He came to realize the hard truth, confessing, "I made the mistake of believing that people were enamored of Mel and Stevenson when the person they were enamored of was Henry Blake. So if you go and do the Mel and Stevenson show, nobody cares about Mel and Stevenson." This acknowledgement surfaced after several attempts to reach the pinnacle of success he once enjoyed on MASH. Even with the obstacles he encountered after MASH, Stevenson's impact on television remains noteworthy. His depiction of Henry Blake infused the series with warmth, humor, and a human touch, and his exit provided one of television's most unforgettable moments. Stevenson's professional life highlights the intricacies and unpredictability inherent in the entertainment sector. Wayne Rogers, Trapper John McIntyre. William Wayne Macmillan Rogers III, better known as Wayne Rogers, entered the world on April 7, 1933, in Birmingham, Alabama, into a family of modest means. His youth was characterized by a focus on education and a broad enthusiasm for different pursuits. Rogers was a student at Ramsey High School, laying the groundwork for his future through both his studies and involvement in extracurriculars. Following his high school graduation, he advanced to Princeton University, an esteemed Ivy League institution, earning a history degree in 1954. While at Princeton, he was active in the Triangle Club, a theater group known for its musical comedies, likely igniting his passion for the performing arts, though he didn't immediately follow this path after college. Rogers served in the U.S. Navy as a navigator on the USS Dana, a supply ship, an experience that proved to be influential. His military service not only honed his commitment and ability to thrive in structured, disciplined settings, but also deepened his interest in acting. Upon concluding his naval service, Rogers turned his focus to acting, attending the neighborhood Playhouse School of the Theater in New York City. There, he received training from the esteemed acting instructor Sanford Meisner, which significantly shaped his acting capabilities. Nevertheless, Rogers faced a tough beginning to his acting career, undertaking various jobs such as waiting tables, driving taxis, and lifeguarding to sustain himself while he auditioned for acting opportunities. In the initial stages of his career, Wayne Rogers took on minor roles in both television and films. His first appearance was in the TV series Search for Tomorrow in 1959, and he also featured in the film Odds Against Tomorrow within the same year. Despite these early opportunities, Rogers' career didn't immediately skyrocket. He persisted in accepting small roles across various television shows and films during the early 1960s. The turning point in Rogers' career occurred in 1972 with his casting as Captain Trapper John McIntyre in the television series MASH. In the series, Rogers played a thoracic surgeon and served as the best friend and counterpart to the main character, Captain Benjamin Hawkeye Pierce, portrayed by Alan Alda. MASH successfully blended elements of comedy and drama, quickly rising to widespread acclaim. Rogers' representation of Trapper John resonated well with viewers and critics, marking him for his charismatic, witty, and morally upright character. The dynamic between Rogers and Alda was central to the show's appeal, as their on-screen relationship delivered both humor and substance to the narrative, cementing MASH's position as a cherished television classic. Wayne Rogers' decision to exit MASH after its third successful season in 1975 was due to creative differences. He felt his character, Trapper John, was being overshadowed by Alan Alda's Hawkeye, transitioning from a central role to more of a supporting role which wasn't aligned with Rogers' vision for his character. Additionally, Rogers was dissatisfied with the lack of development for Trapper John, seeking deeper storylines and a status equal to Alda's character. However, the show's producers did not accommodate these requests, prompting Rogers to leave. His departure was a blow to the show's fanbase, who were saddened to see him go. Following his time on MASH, Wayne Rogers pursued other acting opportunities in television and film. He landed a role in House Calls as Dr. Charlie Michaels, earning a Golden Globe nomination and showcasing his acting range. Rogers also appeared in City of Angels and made guest appearances in a variety of other TV shows and movies. One of his standout roles was playing civil rights lawyer Morris Dees in Ghosts of Mississippi, where he embraced a more grave and dramatic character, further proving his capabilities as a skilled actor. Beyond his accomplishments in acting, Wayne Rogers was also a successful entrepreneur and analyst in the financial sector. His keen interest in finance was sparked during his tenure on MASH, leading him to manage his own investments eventually. Rogers earned the moniker The Wizard due to his profound financial insight. He was a regular financial analyst on Fox News Channel's Cashin' In, offering his expert perspective on investments and market trends. His achievements in finance underscored his intellect and versatility across various domains. Wayne Rogers' personal journey was as dynamic and multifaceted as his professional ventures. He entered matrimony on 2 occasions. His inaugural marriage was to actress Mitzi McWhorter in 1960, and the union produced 2 children, a son, William Rogers IV, and a daughter, Laura Rogers. Despite formally ending their marriage in 1983, the couple had been living apart for some time before that. In 1988, Rogers' life took another turn when he married Amy Hirsch, a relationship that endured until his passing. Rogers was also rumored to have had a son named Luigi Calibra with actress Melinda Nord. Wayne Rogers' life came to a close on December 31, 2015, following complications related to pneumonia. He was 82 at the time of his passing. The conclusion of Rogers' life marked the end of an extraordinary career that extended beyond half a century. He is remembered for a legacy filled with impactful performances and his dual prowess as both a gifted actor and an astute businessman. Larry Linville, Major Frank Burns. Larry Linville, famed for portraying Major Frank Burns on the beloved TV series MASH, was born on September 29, 1939, in Oil City, California, and grew up in Sacramento, California. He was a student at El Camino High School, where his early life showed signs of a budding performance talent, which fully blossomed later. Following high school, Linville ventured into higher education at the University of Colorado, initially focusing on aeronautical engineering before pivoting to the performing arts. This shift in passion led him to the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, RADA, in London, where he was thrilled to be accepted and receive a scholarship, one of only 3 Americans to do so at the time. At RADA, Linville underwent intensive classical training, laying a solid groundwork for his acting career. Upon completing his education, Linville returned to the US and embarked on his acting career, primarily on stage. He engaged in various stage productions, notably working with the Barter Theatre in Abingdon, Virginia, receiving mentorship from the theatre's founder, Robert Hufford Porterfield. This period was instrumental in refining his acting skills and gaining significant stage experience. In the late 60s and early 70s, Linville started to make his mark on television, appearing in several popular shows of that time, such as Bonanza, The FBI, and Room 222. His performances in these series showcased his versatility and cemented his reputation as an actor capable of embracing a wide array of roles. However, it was in 1972 that Larry Linville landed his seminal role as Major Frank Burns in the TV series MASH, a role that would define his career. In MASH, Linville's depiction of Major Frank Burns played a pivotal role in the show's dynamic. Frank Burns was portrayed as a clumsy, conceited, and slightly paranoid surgeon who contrasted sharply with other main characters such as Hawkeye Pierce, Trapper John McIntyre, and later B.J. Honeycutt. Linville infused the character with a unique blend of comedic and tense attributes, solidifying Frank Burns as an unforgettable presence on the show. The character often found himself the butt of jokes and critical quips from his peers. Through Linville's skilled portrayal, Frank Burns's ineptitude and vulnerabilities were highlighted, making him a standout amidst the ensemble cast. Although characterized by his flaws, Linville managed to reveal the depth and complexities of Frank Burns, lending the character various dimensions. Despite the acclaim of MASH and his character's popularity, Larry Linville opted to exit the series after its 5th season in 1977. Multiple reasons informed this decision, notably Linville's concern that his character had devolved into a one-dimensional figure, primarily serving as comedic fodder and depicted unfavorably. Linville was keen on pursuing roles that would enable him to demonstrate his vast acting capabilities. Departing a successful series such as MASH was a daring step, but Linville viewed it as necessary for his professional development. He aspired to engage in more varied and demanding roles to avoid being pigeonholed as the inept surgeon. This move signified a crucial juncture in his career, paving the way for new opportunities. And if you like this video, please leave a number 9 in the comments below. Following his departure from MASH, Linville stayed active in the realms of television and film. Although he didn't replicate the fame he garnered as Major Burns, Linville was still regarded as a talented character actor. He featured in various series such as The Love Boat, Fantasy Island, and Murder, She Wrote. These roles demonstrated his wide-ranging abilities and affirmed that he was much more than his famous portrayal of Frank Burns. Linville also participated in films like School Spirit and Earth Girls Are Easy. While these movies didn't achieve the critical success of MASH, they offered Linville the chance to delve into different genres and roles. Despite facing the hurdle of typecasting, Linville persevered in his career and stayed committed to his art. Linville's personal life was marked by multiple marriages. He was first married to Kate Gear, a union that produced a daughter named Kelly. His subsequent marriages included Vanna Tribby, Melissa Gallant, Susan Hagen, and Deborah Giddon. These marriages painted a picture of Linville's complex and at times tumultuous personal life. The legacy of Larry Linville, particularly through his role as Major Frank Burns, holds a significant place in the annals of television history. His knack for embodying a character that was deeply flawed and often unlikable, yet retaining a comedic appeal, showcases his immense talent as an actor. Linville's work on MASH has stood the test of time, and he is lauded as a pivotal figure in the show's triumph. In spite of his departure from MASH to evade typecasting, Linville's rendition of Frank Burns remains iconic. His character introduced a distinctive element to the series, and Linville's exceptional comedic timing, along with his capacity to weave humor with depth, made Frank Burns an unforgettable role. Linville's exit from MASH created a profound gap in the series. Frank Burns was a character whom audiences found delightfully detestable, and his interactions with other characters significantly contributed to the show's chemistry. Following Linville's departure, the character Major Charles Winchester, portrayed by David Ogden Stiers, was brought in. Although Winchester introduced a new form of tension to the series, the vacuum left by Frank Burns was distinctly perceptible. Linville's choice to exit MASH was a testament to his quest for artistic growth and his commitment to authenticity in his craft. He could have stayed in the comfortable role of Frank Burns, basking in the security that came with a regular role in a successful series. But he opted to explore new horizons. This decision underscores Linville's dedication to his profession and his readiness to embrace challenges as an actor. In the latter part of his life, Linville remained active in the television and film industry. though his work was increasingly hindered by health issues. Regardless of his deteriorating health condition, he stayed devoted to his acting career, continuously accepting roles until it became physically impossible. Linville's fight against cancer marked a challenging chapter in his life, yet he approached it with the same resilience and tenacity that he demonstrated throughout his career. Larry Linville's death on April 10, 2000, due to pneumonia complications after undergoing cancer surgery, left a void in the entertainment world. At the age of 60, the industry lost a profoundly talented and committed actor, whose absence was deeply felt by his peers and admirers alike. Gary Berghoff, Corporal Walter Radar O'Reilly. Gary Rich Berghoff entered the world on May 24, 1943 in Bristol, Connecticut, to parents Rodney and Anne Berghoff, who created a supportive environment that encouraged his early artistic inclinations. From an early age, Gary was captivated by the natural surroundings of Forestville, developing a strong bond with nature. His mother Anne, who was involved in the local theatre as a dancer, choreographer, writer, poet and songwriter, introduced Gary to the performing arts, often taking him along to her rehearsals. Gary grew fascinated with the world of performance, inspired by stage artists, singers and musicians. Despite physical obstacles, including a club foot and several misshapen fingers on his left hand, he pursued his interests with determination. He mastered tap dancing and jazz drumming, demonstrating considerable resilience and dedication in the face of his challenges. The Berghoff family relocated to Delavan, Wisconsin during Gary's sophomore year of high school. He completed his education at Delavan Darien High School in 1962, by which time he was already performing as a drummer in Milwaukee's nightlife scene with the Bud Wilbur Orchestra. His inherent talent and steadfast ambition were unmistakable. Following high school, Berghoff ventured to New York City to follow his dreams, training at HB Studio with influential instructors such as Sanford Meisner, James Tuttle, and Charles Nelson Riley. To sustain himself, he worked at Saks Fifth Avenue and played in jazz clubs with his band, the We Three. Berghoff's initial stage roles spanned various theatre productions, including performances in acclaimed plays like Finian's Rainbow, Babes in Arms, Bells Are Ringing, The Sound of Music, Tea and Sympathy, and Look, Homeward Angel. His career took a significant leap forward on March 7, 1967, when he took on the role of Charlie Brown in the musical You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. The production was a colossal hit, captivating audiences in New York and Los Angeles for over 1,500 shows, and solidifying Berghoff as a commendable actor. In 1970, Gary Berghoff's career trajectory changed significantly when director Robert Altman was impressed by his portrayal of Charlie Brown. Altman then offered him a chance to audition for his next project, MASH. Berghoff landed the role of Corporal Walter Eugene Radar O'Reilly, a role that became iconic in his career. Following the film's success, MASH was converted into a TV series by Larry Gelbart and 20th Century Fox, premiering on CBS in 1972. Berghoff was the sole actor from the film to continue his role in the series. His depiction of Radar, the naive yet perceptive company clerk, endeared him to audiences, making Radar one of the most cherished TV characters. Berghoff's performance was celebrated for its endearing quality and relatability, cementing his status as a beloved figure. Despite MASH's widespread acclaim and his popularity among fans, Berghoff encountered personal and professional challenges. The intense filming schedule adversely affected his home life. He had married Janet Gale in 1971 and their daughter Gina was born in 1975. Nevertheless, the extensive hours on set and the challenges of stardom put a strain on his marriage. By the time he chose to exit MASH in 1979, his marriage had dissolved. Berghoff moved back to his childhood home with his 4-year-old daughter, looking for comfort and a new beginning. Gary Berghoff's decision to leave MASH after the 7th season marked a pivotal point in TV history. He opted to depart due to exhaustion and the desire for more time with his family, as the series' intensive filming schedule made it challenging to be involved in his children's upbringing. Furthermore, Berghoff believed he had developed his character fully and was keen on pursuing new ventures. His move was about seeking a better equilibrium and satisfaction beyond the confines of a highly acclaimed TV series. The decision was made thoughtfully, and the show's creators managed his exit with sensitivity. In Berghoff's concluding episode, Radar was given a heartfelt farewell. He decided to go back and manage the family farm following his uncle's passing, offering a fitting end to his narrative on the show. Originally, Radar's departure was set for the final episode of the 7th season, known as Goodbye Radar. Nonetheless, CBS suggested Berghoff make a comeback for a 2-episode farewell, enabling viewers to properly send off a cherished character. This poignant goodbye underscored Berghoff's dedication to maintaining a balance between his career achievements and personal life. Following his departure from MASH, Gary Berghoff remained active in the show business, yet he didn't reach the same level of stardom he had as Radar. He took roles in a variety of TV shows, such as Fantasy Island, The Love Boat, and Tales of the Unexpected. He also made appearances on game shows including Match Game, Tattletales, and Hollywood Squares. Despite maintaining a presence on TV, he found it challenging to connect with an audience to the extent he did while portraying Radar O'Reilly. In 1984, Berghoff returned to his iconic role in the MASH spin-offs After MASH and Walter. Nonetheless, these series didn't mirror the success of the original, leading Berghoff to gradually diverge into different interests. His enthusiasm for the environment and animals inspired him to present the PBS series Pets, Part of the Family in 1999, showcasing his animal advocacy to the audience. Beyond his acting career, Gary Berghoff had multiple talents. He was a skilled jazz drummer, a craft he continued to perfect over the years. Additionally, he pursued wildlife painting, effectively expressing his passion for nature through his art. His artwork received positive acclaim, offering him another avenue of accomplishment and contentment. Gary Berghoff also explored his talents as an inventor and a songwriter, showcasing his creative flair beyond acting and painting. He stayed engaged with regional theatre, taking part in plays throughout the United States and Canada. Among his noteworthy endeavours was his tour of 120 theatres from 1999 to 2000, where he starred in Neil Simon's Last of the Red Hot Lovers. His autobiography, To Mash and Back, My Life in Poems and Songs, offered a deeply personal view of his experiences and career, employing an inventive mix of prose, poetry, and music to capture his diverse talents and the roller coaster of his time in the spotlight. Berghoff's private life was marked by both joy and adversity. After his marriage to Janet Gale concluded in 1979, he wedded Elizabeth Bostrom in 1985, with whom he had 2 sons. Their union, however, encountered obstacles largely due to the strain caused by Berghoff's intense spiritual convictions, leading to their divorce in 2005. Elizabeth and their children relocated to California, while Berghoff continued his spiritual and personal exploration. In spite of these trials, his commitment to his family never wavered. Opting to leave MASH at the height of its success was a testament to his prioritization of family over fame, a decision that garnered respect and admiration from those who valued his bravery and authenticity. Wow, what a journey through the untold stories of MASH and its memorable characters. It's clear their exits were more than just saying goodbye, they marked new beginnings. What do you think? Were these choices purely personal, or was there more behind the scenes? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below with your take, and if MASH holds a special place in your heart, let us know by commenting with the letter M. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell on Iconic Inside for more behind-the-scenes insights you won't want to miss. George Harrison's son saddens fans as he confirms the rumors. In a bombshell that sent shockwaves through the music world, Donny Harrison, the sole heir to George Harrison's mystic melody, has spoken. Fans are reeling from the news. Unheard tracks from the legendary George Harrison exist. Could this be the treasure trove fans have been dreaming of, or the heartache they never expected to endure? Get ready for an emotional ride as we unravel the truth that has left Beatles aficionados worldwide in a state of disbelief. This is Iconic Inside, and the story we're about to dive into is as stunning as it is controversial. Hit play and brace yourselves. This revelation about George Harrison's final works is going to hit you like a lyric you never saw coming. Envision the experience of growing up with the knowledge that your father's music altered the world. That's the world that the Beatles' offspring inhabit. Yet, having a Beatle like John, Paul, George or Ringo as a parent has its pros and cons. There's the legacy of their genius, but it's also coupled with the immense pressure of expectations. Julian Lennon endeavored to step out from under his father's colossal shadow. For Zach Starkey, there was the intimidating challenge of stepping into his father's role behind the drum set. Donny Harrison's upbringing was surprisingly regular. He was unaware for a long time that his father was a member of the Beatles. Following George's death in 2001, whispers of unheard songs he left behind began to circulate. When Donny acknowledged their existence, it set the fan base alight with speculation. Did George Harrison leave behind a secret cache of unfinished songs? Or would it have been wiser to let these remnants of his artistry remain undiscovered? Julian Lennon. Born unexpectedly in 1963, just as the Beatles were gaining widespread fame, Julian Lennon entered the world. His early life was enchanted with the glamour of his father's escalating celebrity. However, everything took a sharp turn following John's separation from Cynthia and his subsequent relationship with Yoko Ono, leading to a growing estrangement between father and son. This left young Julian in a cloud of bewilderment and unanswered queries. Nonetheless, music became his solace. Remarkably, the beloved Beatles melody, Hey Jude, was crafted as a consoling note for Julian amidst his parents' divorce. In the 1970s, it was John who ignited Julian's passion for music, gifting him a guitar and teaching him fundamental chords. It seemed Julian was destined to follow in his father's musical footsteps. The expectations that came with being John Lennon's son were undoubtedly daunting, but Julian paved his own path. He ventured into singing and songwriting, explored acting and photography, and his 1984 debut album, Velotte, made a significant impact, securing a Grammy nomination for Best New Artist. Yet living under the vast influence of his father posed continuous challenges. Julian found it tough to replicate the success of his maiden album with subsequent releases. This struggle led him to take a break from the music scene, likely in pursuit of carving a distinct identity for himself beyond the comparisons. Upon his return, it was evident that Julian had grown not only in his music, but also in embracing a broader spectrum of interests. Julian channeled his bond with his father into his own philanthropic venture, the White Feather Foundation, which dedicates itself to ecological and humanitarian causes. In 2010, he shared a poignant slice of his life through the timeless photographic exhibition. This event was not just a display of his extensive Beatles memorabilia, but also a testament to his own artistic flair. Julian's narrative is a testament to his efforts to step out from the immense shadow of his father. He's wrestled with the distinct dilemmas that come with being the progeny of a Beatles member. Despite the odds, he's managed to blaze his own trail in creativity, a telling sign that the Lennon lineage is steeped in artistic vigor. To walk a path laid by a legend is far from simple, yet to uncover how one charts a course through such daunting territory is undeniably inspiring. Sean Ono Lennon. Sean Lennon, born on October 9, 1975 in New York City, emerges as a fascinating figure in the world of music and art, thriving under the colossal shadow of his iconic parents, John Lennon and Yoko Ono. His journey through creativity isn't just limited to music. It spans across a multitude of artistic expressions, including acting, filmmaking, and visual arts, showcasing a versatility that often mirrors his father's experimental spirit and his mother's avant-garde inclinations. Growing up as the son of one of the most esteemed figures in rock history and a groundbreaking artist could be daunting for many. Yet, Sean has carved a unique path for himself, proving that while legacy can be influential, individuality reigns supreme in the end. His life began in the limelight. Born on his father's 35th birthday, Sean's arrival was embraced with immense joy by John, leading him to take a hiatus from the music world to focus on his young family. The tragic assassination of John Lennon in 1980, when Sean was merely a child, brought a profound change in his life, enveloping him in a protective world curated by his mother, Yoko. Despite the understandable effort to shield him from the intense public gaze, Sean's inclination toward music and the arts flourished. Yoko nurtured his talents, guiding him without overshadowing his personal creative voice. Sean's education at elite institutions like the Institut Le Rose in Switzerland and his later studies at Columbia University established a strong foundation in intellectual and creative pursuits. However, it was clear from the outset that his passion for music would guide his path. Early collaborations with his mother on albums like Onobox and Rising showcased his burgeoning talents, blending seamlessly with Yoko's avant-garde style. In 1998, Sean stepped into the spotlight with his debut solo album, Into the Sun, released under the avant-garde label Grand Royale. The album, produced by Beastie Boys' Adam Yauch, was a departure from any Beatles-esque sound, venturing instead into a melodic exploration of indie rock, psychedelia, and jazz. Critics applauded Sean for his willingness to experiment and his ability to craft an album that felt genuinely reflective of his own artistic voice rather than a mere echo of his lineage. Sean's musical journey didn't stop with his solo endeavors. He formed the band The Ghost of a Saber-Toothed Tiger with his partner Charlotte Kemp Moule, further experimenting with psychedelic rock and folk. His work with this group, particularly in albums like Midnight Sun, shows his adeptness at storytelling through music, weaving narratives that are at once ethereal and grounded. Beyond music, Sean has ventured into filmmaking and visual arts, contributing to the score for independent films and holding exhibitions showcasing his artistry beyond sound. His multidimensional approach to creativity speaks to an artist deeply invested in exploring all facets of expression, unafraid to meld genres and mediums. Sean's relationship with his heritage is complex and nuanced. While he acknowledges the influence of his parents on his work, he also strives to be seen as an individual artist. His collaborations with artists across different fields underscore his belief in the transformative power of creative partnerships. As Sean continues to evolve as an artist, it's evident that his journey is defined by exploration and a refusal to be bound by expectations. His body of work, marked by an undying curiosity and a deep respect for the art of storytelling, stands as a testament to his ability to navigate the pressures of legacy while forging a path distinctly his own. In essence, Sean Lennon exemplifies the modern artist, multidisciplinary, reflective, and perpetually in pursuit of the new. His artistry serves not only as a bridge between the past and the present, but also as a beacon for future generations of creatives, proving that identity is not merely inherited, but actively constructed. Through his dedication to his craft and his willingness to explore the unknown, Sean ensures that the spirit of innovation that defined his parents' work continues to inspire. Zak Starkey, embarking on a journey to define himself beyond the fame of his father, Zak Starkey was drawn irresistibly towards the world of drumming. The lure of rhythm was inescapable, especially with a father like Ringo Starr and a godfather as iconic as Keith Moon from The Who. Born into the heart of rock aristocracy in 1965, Ringo hoped to shield Zak from the intense pressures of the music scene. However, the pulse of drumming was too potent in Zak's veins. At the tender age of 8, receiving a drum kit from Keith Moon himself seemed like a preordained moment. It was an invitation that Zak, even at such a young age, felt compelled to accept. The magnetic draw of performing and the adrenaline of live audiences were too compelling to ignore. The dissolution of his parents' marriage marked a significant point in Zak's life, where his casual interest in drumming evolved into a dedicated pursuit. He honed his skills with bands like the Icicle Works and even took a seat in his dad's all-star ensemble, cementing his place among the ranks. However, it was stepping into Keith Moon's colossal footprint with The Who in the mid-90s that presented the ultimate challenge. Filling in for Moon after his passing was nothing short of monumental. The expectations from fans for not just technical prowess, but also the same vibrant energy were sky high. Zak rose to this formidable challenge with distinction, earning not just the band's acceptance but also winning over die-hard Who aficionados. Stepping into the shoes of a drumming legend is daunting, to say the least, but Zak managed to pay homage to Keith Moon's monumental legacy, while also igniting the stage with his unique dynamism. Zak Starkey's journey didn't halt at his early accomplishments. With the innate flair of a true rock star, he expanded his horizons, touring alongside Pete Townshend and Roger Daltrey, taking up the role of drummer for Oasis for a period and collaborating with rock legends such as Johnny Marr. The Beatles' musical lineage didn't end with Zak. In 1985, he and his wife Shana welcomed Tasha, the first grandchild of a Beatle, into the world. True to form, Tasha embraced the family's rich musical heritage, becoming a talented musician herself. The gatherings of the Starkey family must indeed resonate with musical brilliance. Zach's narrative underscores that while talent can run in the family, the essence lies in refining those innate abilities and bravely carving out your own niche in the vast world of music. Because YouTube will prioritize interactive videos, please comment OK if you find this video interesting. Thank you. Jason Starkey. While Zach Starkey embraced life in the limelight, his younger brother Jason had a contrasting journey. The experience of growing up under the immense legacy of a Beatle was a mixed fortune, and for Jason Starkey it often felt more burdensome than beneficial. Born in 1967 as the second son to Ringo Starr and Maureen Starkey, Jason's upbringing was immersed in a world filled with music, fame, and extraordinary privileges. However, the dissolution of his parents' marriage introduced a period of turmoil. At the tender age of 7, amidst their divorce, Jason found himself floundering, resorting to rebellion as a means of expression. This turmoil manifested in engaging in minor criminal activities and clashes with the law, a stark contrast to the illustrious rock star persona associated with his father. This phase of Jason's life highlighted the struggles of grappling with familial expectations while dealing with the amplified strains of carrying a globally recognized surname during his adolescent years. In 1987, Jason faced legal consequences when he attempted to steal a car radio, marking the beginning of a series of run-ins with the law, including notable drug charges in subsequent years. However, the ties of family and the inherent rhythm within him couldn't be ignored. Despite life's upheavals, Jason was inexorably drawn to music, taking up the drums and occasionally performing in bands with his brother Zach. This could have been his moment to shine musically, to carve out his own space in the industry alongside his sibling. Yet the spotlight, along with the inevitable comparisons, seemed to aggravate his discontent rather than alleviate it. Jason once candidly acknowledged the difficulties of living up to his father's fame, describing it as a total pain and a significant hindrance in his life. In an unexpected turn, he chose to step back from the fame, seeking satisfaction as a road manager and drummer for bands away from the intense scrutiny of the public eye. Opting out of the limelight, in stark contrast to the legacy that defined his family, may appear to some as evasion. However, it could also be viewed as Jason's means of asserting independence, carving a unique path amidst the frenetic pace of stadium gigs and fervent Beatlemania. His life took a turn towards stability when he married Flora Evans, a fashion designer, in 2010, with whom he had 3 sons. This semblance of normality, perhaps elusive during his younger days, signaled a newfound peace. Having a celebrity parent doesn't mandate walking the same path. Often, finding contentment on your own terms represents the greatest act of defiance. Mary McCartney. Mary McCartney made her first appearance in 1969, a time that coincided remarkably with her cameo on the back cover of her father Paul's solo record, McCartney, snuggled within his jacket. Linda's evocative photography of this scene subtly hinted at Mary's future endeavors in the arts. Deeply shaped by Linda, Paul McCartney's cherished spouse, an artist, a photographer of discerning talent, and a staunch voice for animal rights and vegetarianism, Mary absorbed these influences wholeheartedly. She cultivated her own photographic talent and carved out a distinguished career with her striking portraits and stylish fashion shoots adorning magazines and galleries. Following in her mother's creative footsteps, Mary was driven by an unrestrained creative spirit. She ventured into the domain of film, crafting the documentary Wingspan in 2001, which delved into the narrative of Wings, the band her parents had founded. It was a deeply personal undertaking, with Mary conducting the interview with her father Paul, infusing the documentary with a heartfelt depth. Tragedy struck when Linda succumbed to breast cancer in 1998, but Mary found solace and purpose in carrying forward her mother's values. She paid homage to Linda through her culinary authorship, publishing several vegetarian cookbooks that celebrated and perpetuated her mother's culinary philosophy and unconditional love for life. Currently, Mary extends her expertise within her father's enterprise, MPL Communications, contributing to their imagery division. This perfectly illustrates how the combination of inherent talent and a commitment to perfecting one's skills can lead to noteworthy engagements, even within a family's enterprise. In a nod to her mother Linda's dedication to kinship, Mary embraced motherhood, bestowing upon Paul his inaugural grandchild Arthur in 1999, and subsequently welcoming a second son, Elliot. Though her union with the filmmaker Alistair Donald concluded in a separation, Mary's heart found its match anew with the filmmaker Simon Aboud. Together, they've cultivated their own family unit, complete with 2 additional children. Navigating the complexities of having 2 renowned and artistically driven parents, Mary has effectively sculpted an individualistic and respected path for herself. Stella McCartney. Choosing a different path from her elder sister Mary, Stella opted to forge her own unique journey. Born in 1971, her infancy intertwined with the dynamic lifestyle of her parents' band, Wings, with her entry into the world inspiring the group's name. Due to the dramatic circumstances of her birth, via an emergency C-section, this spirited beginning seemed to foreshadow Stella's penchant for trailblazing. While she indeed inherited her parents' creative flair, her artistic inclinations directed her towards fashion rather than music. With an early fascination for attire coupled with the supportive backdrop provided by her parents, Stella pursued her aspirations with zeal. Stella's ascension in the fashion realm was nothing short of remarkable. She fine-tuned her expertise and in 2001 launched her eponymous label. Her creations, known for their bold and contemporary feel, quickly garnered the admiration of celebrities like Kate Moss and caught the eye of fashion enthusiasts across the globe. Today, Stella McCartney boutiques are a fixture in major cities worldwide, standing as a testament to her unmistakable prowess. However, Stella's impact stretches beyond the realms of high fashion. She's a vanguard for sustainability and ethical fashion, demonstrating that luxury and ecological mindfulness can go hand in hand. Her commitment was recognized on a grand scale when in 2012 she was tasked with designing the kit for the British athletes competing in the Olympics, with her being appointed an officer of the Order of the British Empire in recognition of her contributions the following year. Yet despite her monumental achievements, Stella remains down to earth. A mother to 4 children, she maintains a touch of the familial rebelliousness humorously highlighted by her choice of attire during her father's induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Rather than merely being Paul's daughter, Stella McCartney has solidified her own legacy, proving through her journey that even those born from legendary lineage can carve out significant individual legacies. Stella's story is a powerful narrative of grit, innovation, and challenging the status quo, illustrating that the descendants of icons can indeed leave their own indelible mark on the world. Beatrice Milley. Contrast to her elder siblings who left indelible marks on the fields of creativity, Paul McCartney's youngest daughter, Beatrice Milley, tunes into a different rhythm. Born in 2003, amidst a distinct phase of her father's life, during his marriage to Heather Mills, Beatrice's entry into the world was during a time when Paul was navigating through older parenthood and a subsequent complex family dynamic. Given these circumstances, Beatrice's upbringing starkly diverges from that of her half-siblings, perhaps providing the serenity she needed amidst the eventual discordant end of her parents' marriage, though custody remains jointly shared. It appears the McCartney musical legacy continues subtly through Beatrice, as she has reportedly taken up the saxophone. Yet it's clear her interests venture beyond the realms traditionally associated with her family name. Unmoved by the potential draw of the entertainment industry or the scrutiny of public attention, Beatrice is plotting a distinct trajectory. The call of the sea, rather than the call of the stage, captures her imagination, with marine biology emerging as her passion, demonstrating a serene deviation from the expected McCartney fame path. This departure from the expected route showcases a refreshing evolution of the McCartney legacy, illustrating the youngest member's journey of personal discovery, diverging from the pressures of familial legacy. While her pathway is more subdued, it stands as a testament to the possibility of redefining one's identity beyond the shadows of familial achievement. Whether Beatrice will make her name as a distinguished marine biologist or perhaps eventually merge her talents with the family's musical traditions remains to be seen. Nonetheless, the freedom she experiences to explore her future away from the spotlight could very well be the most liberating inheritance afforded to a child of Beatles lineage. Lee Parkin Starkey. Lee Starkey's introduction to the world came at a time of tumult, arriving in 1970 during the highly publicized dissolution of the Beatles and the breakdown of her parents' marriage. Her beginnings were certainly challenging. Despite this, as a child, Lee showed an inclination towards the spotlight, and in 1989 she dipped her toes into public recognition with an appearance next to her father, Ringo Starr, in an Oldsmobile commercial. Lee had an affinity for the world of fashion, leading her to establish Planet Alice, a fashion boutique in Los Angeles, which celebrated the vivid styles of the 1960s. The store made an impact but didn't last, prompting Lee to venture into fashion design and makeup artistry. However, Lee's challenges persisted when, a year after the sad loss of her mother Maureen to leukemia, she was diagnosed with a brain tumor in 1994, facing down the dire situation with surgery and radiation. Her resilience manifested another test in 2001 when the tumor returned, subjecting her to further medical intervention. Her incredible fortitude in the face of adversity is nothing short of inspirational. Lee's essence, against such odds, glows radiantly. She found love with Jay Miller, the bassist for the band Caban, and she often attends her brother's concerts as well as those of her half-sister, Stella McCartney, a testament to the enduring strength of family ties. Her life took a striking turn when she became a mother to triplets in 2009, the first such occurrence within the Beatles' extended clan. This new role may have granted her the affection and anchoring she sought throughout her early years. Lee's life recounts a tale of confronting the unexpected, overcoming it with valor, and coming through stronger. Growing up in the shadow of a musical icon could have been a daunting barrier, yet Lee charted her own path, confronting health struggles with indomitable spirit, and emerged with a tale of perseverance and strength. Because YouTube will prioritize interactive videos, please comment OK if you find this video interesting. Thank you. Dhoni Harrison. Dhoni Harrison, the lone offspring of George, arrived into the world in 1978, bearing a name inspired by George's reverence for Indian spirituality, a homage to the sounds of the Indian musical scale. Dhoni, inheriting the musical aptitudes of his father, pursued a career in music. Amidst a heartbreaking turn of events, he contributed to completing George's last work, Brainwashed, following George's death in 2001. Performing alongside George's old bandmates, Ringo and Paul, Dhoni actively perpetuates the Harrison musical lineage. For Dhoni, his realization about his father's illustrious past was carefully veiled behind the neatly cultivated surroundings of their Friar Park home. Instead of spending his youth on tour buses or among throngs of adoring fans, Dhoni's father was simply a master gardener in his eyes. In an attempt to grant Dhoni an ordinary childhood away from the spotlight, George dedicated his time to nurturing roses rather than tunes. For the first 7 years of his life, Dhoni was blissfully unaware of his dad's true vocation, solely perceiving him as a remarkably skilled horticulturist. The bubble eventually burst in a fashion that no child could ever anticipate. Being pursued by peers belting out Yellow Submarine, a surreal experience, especially when your own father is part of the legend behind the song. This prompted a unique familial discussion, with George admitting with his characteristic calm that perhaps an earlier introduction to the Beatles might have been prudent. Dhoni's relationship with his father is reflected in the way he accepted this later-than-usual revelation without sour feelings. George's intent to furnish a tranquil and ordinary upbringing underlines the type of father he strove to be. In a sense, Dhoni experienced the best of both worlds, the liberty to grow up without immediate pressure, a chance to cultivate personal interests before grappling with the immense scope of his father's fame. This secluded beginning indeed molded him, strongly influencing his approach to music, and when the moment arrived to embrace his heritage, Dhoni did so on his individual terms. And inevitably, the familial resemblance to his father, that Beatle essence, is distinct and unmistakable. The serene life Dhoni Harrison knew was transformed once he fully grasped the vastness of George Harrison's stardom, a revelation that would deeply affect any child, particularly one brought up in such a deliberately protected environment. However, this shielded upbringing perhaps allowed Dhoni to more fully accept and step into the musical inheritance that was his birthright. Initially, with some reservation, he played a pivotal role in completing his father's album, Brainwashed, a process that, while steeped in mourning, offered him invaluable insights and growth. He later expressed gratitude to those who guided him through this poignant period, illustrating how even within sorrow, new pathways can emerge. This experience marked the beginning of Dhoni's own musical ventures, forming bands and later introducing solo projects. Despite the inevitable association with his father, Dhoni has infused his music with a contemporary twist, distinctly his own. His works incorporate electronic nuances, a direction George never ventured into, alongside lyrics that reflect the social awareness of Donny's era. This blend of honoring his roots while forging his unique path showcases the dual nature of his musical journey. On stage, the physical likeness to his father George is undeniable, but Donny asserts his individual artistic identity with audacity. This tightrope walk is one many offspring of celebrated figures face, reaping the benefits of access and guidance in honing their craft, simultaneously navigating the hefty expectations set upon them. While critics draw comparisons and fans meticulously examine his every move, the sheer pressure to excel can seem overwhelming. Yet Donny approaches this journey with a mix of finesse and resilience. His creations respect his lineage, yet aren't mere reflections of his father's legacy. He transforms the core elements of his musical heritage into something both recognizably Harrison and intriguingly novel: George Harrison's relationships. Donny is not merely establishing his unique musical identity, he's also the bearer of a legacy ignited by his father, George, many years ago. George's journey, however, was one of intricate relationships that have significantly influenced Donny's life. Before Donny came into the world, there was Pattie Boyd, George's inaugural wife and muse. Their relationship, characterized by unfaithfulness and disparate spiritual pursuits, culminated in a divorce. Despite the anguish of their separation, it acted as a muse for George, prompting some of his most celebrated compositions. Subsequently, Olivia Arias entered George's life, embarking on a passionate love story that led to Donny's arrival and their marriage shortly thereafter. Olivia was George's haven, their connection proving profoundly steadfast. For over 20 years, they nurtured Donny in the idyllic setting of Friar Park, until George's untimely demise due to cancer in 2001. Following George's departure, Olivia has been an unwavering custodian of his legacy, actively involved in producing documentaries and managing the re-release of his tunes, thereby ensuring George's eternal presence in music lore. However, a recent revelation from Olivia suggests an even more intriguing aspect of George's legacy: incomplete musical compositions. George reportedly left behind fragments of songs, essentially blueprints of potential masterpieces. This disclosure has ignited passionate discussions. Should these sketches be fully realized and shared with the world? While fans yearn for more of George's enchantment, some purists contend that such an act would be against George's wishes. Olivia, poised and ready to progress, hints at the possibility of Donny playing a role in breathing life into these nascent works. This presents an enthralling yet morally intricate scenario. On one side, finishing these works could present us with a concluding chapter to George's musical sagas. But on the flip side, it might infringe upon his creative sovereignty. It raises a crucial question. Would George have wished for these embryonic ideas to emerge into publicity? Indeed, posthumous releases aren't groundbreaking, invariably sparking a debate between the motives of preservation versus commercial gain. However, George's situation is distinct due to Olivia, not just as his widow, but as Donny's mother. This dynamic means the endeavor transcends mere homage. It offers Donny a unique opportunity to intertwine his musical fate with his father's legacy. It was Donny himself who appeared to validate the tales of these unfinished musical treasures. Though he remained tight-lipped about the specifics, his acknowledgement stirred a vehement response within the Beatles community. Understandably, a faction of fans felt dismayed. They regard George's discography as sacrosanct, and the notion of altering his final works seems to them an affront to his craftsmanship. They argue that George should maintain ultimate control over his oeuvre, even posthumously. Conversely, there's the perspective that Olivia and Donny, who are more than just his kin, but keepers of his creative spirit, might possess the insight to transform these nascent melodies into tributes that capture George's essence. Given their close bond and deep understanding of his artistic ethos, perhaps our faith in their judgment could be warranted. The moral intricacies of releasing music after an artist has passed away can often be opaque. Fans voice concerns over exploitation and the potential distortion of an artist's enduring memory, even when such endeavors are approached with the best intentions. The crucial question stands: can these adapted compositions ever genuinely encapsulate the enchantment George aimed for? Will they resonate with the essence of George that fans so deeply cherish? Donny assures that any refinements made to his father's work would be carried out with the utmost reverence. But such assurances cannot wholly quell the ensuing debate. This extends far beyond the realm of mere technical adjustments or appeasing enthusiasts. It touches upon the very core of George's musical heritage and who bears the right to define its ultimate narrative. The progeny of the Beatles have, each in their own way, embraced the creative mantle. Whether it's Julian Lennon forging his identity amidst a towering legacy, Sean "Ono" Lennon collaborating with his mother, or the varied artistic ventures of Paul and Ringo's children, it's evident that the Beatles' artistic legacy lives on through them. They perpetuate it, each adding a personal nuance, with some taking a more direct musical route, others drawing new pathways in their creative quests. The perennial challenge they face is balancing reverence for the past with the cultivation of their original contributions. What are your thoughts? Do you believe George's unfinished music ought to be shared with the world, or should it remain as he left it in its unaltered state? If you think the music should be completed and released, share your yes in the comments section. If not, voice your no. And if you found this exploration into the lives of the Beatles' descendants compelling, don't forget to show your appreciation. Subscribe to Iconic Inside and turn on those notifications to stay updated on our latest content.